Hello everyone and welcome to episode 6 of the Anna Publishing Monthly Research and Ethics series. I am Dr. Aamarpali Roy and I am delighted to welcome you once again. Today's topic is why research papers get rejected, top 20 mistakes authors make. Researchers spend months and sometimes years conducting research and preparing a manuscript. Yet, many papers are rejected because of common mistakes that can easily be avoided. In this episode, we will discuss the most common reasons editors and reviewers reject manuscripts and, more importantly, how you can avoid these mistakes to improve your chances of publication. Let's begin. Before we begin, let's quickly recall episode 5. In the previous episode, we discussed how to write an effective literature review, identify research gaps, organize published studies, and prepare a review paper for publication. Today, we'll move to the next step. We'll understand why research papers get rejected and learn practical ways to avoid these mistakes before submitting a manuscript. By the end of this session, you will understand how editors evaluate a manuscript, recognize the most common reasons for rejection, identify writing and ethical mistakes, and learn simple ways to improve your manuscript before submission. These practical tips will help you prepare a stronger paper and increase your chances of publication. Let us begin with an important reality of academic publishing. Most reputed journals reject 50 to 90% of the manuscripts they receive. Even experienced researchers receive rejection letters. So if your paper is rejected, don't lose confidence. In many cases, the manuscript simply needs improvement or may not be the right fit for that journal. Always remember, a rejection is feedback, not failure. Many authors think that after submission, a manuscript is sent directly to reviewers. In reality, it is first evaluated by journal editor. The editor checks whether the manuscript fits the journal's scope, demonstrates originality, is well written, has a sound research design, complies with ethical standards, and follows the journal's author's guidelines. Only manuscripts that meet these basic requirements move on to peer review. Understanding this process can help you avoid unnecessary rejection at the editorial stage. Now, let's understand what actually happens after you click the submit button. Your manuscript first goes through an editorial screening. The editor checks whether it fits the journal scope, is original, follows ethical standards, meet the journal guidelines, and is written clearly. If it doesn't meet these basic requirements, it may receive a desk rejection. If it does, it moves to peer review where experts evaluate the quality of the research and provide their comments. Based on these comments, the editors may ask for major revisions, minor revisions, accept the paper, or reject it. Remember, every stage is important. Understanding this process helps you prepare a stronger manuscript and avoid unnecessary rejection. The first common mistake is starting with a weak or unclear research question. If your research question is too broad or not well defined, editors and reviewers should immediately understand what problem your research is trying to solve. Before you begin writing, make sure your research question is specific, your objectives are clearly linked to it, and the study addresses an important issue. A well-defined research question is the foundation of publishable article. The second reason for rejection is lack of novelty. Many manuscripts repeat what has already been published without offering anything new. Editors always ask one simple question: what is the contribution of this study? Before submitting your paper, clearly explain which gap your research fills and why it matters. If readers cannot identify what's new, the chances of rejection increase significantly. The third mistake is an inadequate literature review. A literature review should do more than list previous studies. It should show that you understand the current research and explain where your study fits. Use recent high quality references, compare different findings, and clearly identify the research gap. A strong literature review strengthens the need for your research and builds confidence in your work. The fourth reason is poor study design. Even an excellent research question cannot produce reliable results if the methodology is not appropriate. Choose the right research design, justify your methods, and ensure they match your research objective. Remember, good research is built on good methodology. The fifth mistake is using an inadequate sample size. If the sample is too small or not representative, the finding may not be reliable or applicable to larger population. Always justify your sample size, explain your sampling method, and clearly mention the inclusion and exclusion criteria. A carefully selected sample adds credibility to your research. The sixth mistake is having a weak or misleading title. Your title creates the first impression of your research. If it is too long, too vague, or doesn't reflect the actual study, editors may lose interest immediately. Choose a title that is clear, concise, and includes the important keywords describing your study. A strong title helps both editors and readers understand your work at a glance. The seventh common mistake is writing a poor abstract. For many editors, the abstract is the first part they read. If it is unclear or incomplete, they may not continue with the manuscript. A good abstract should briefly explain the objective, methodology, main findings, and conclusion of your study. One useful practice is to write the abstract after completing the manuscript. This ensures that it accurately reflects your research. A clear and well-written abstract greatly improves the first impression of your paper. The next common mistake is writing a weak introduction. Your introduction should clearly explain what the problem is, why it is important, and what gap your study aims to address. Many authors either provide too much background or fail to explain the need for their research. As a result, reviewers are left wondering why the study was conducting. A good introduction should naturally lead the reader to your research objectives and clearly answer one question: why does this study matter? Another major reason for rejection is unclear methodology. The methods section should provide enough detail for another researcher to understand and, if required, repeat the study. Clearly describe your study design, sampling method, data collection procedure, statistical analysis, and ethical approval wherever applicable. Remember, a transparent methodology increases the credibility of your research and builds confidence in your findings. Presenting good results is just as important as obtaining them. If your tables and figures are confusing or the same information is repeated unnecessarily, reviewers may find it difficult to understand your findings. Present the results in a logical order, use clear tables and figures, and highlight only the important observations. A well-presented results section allows your research to speak for itself. Many authors make the mistake of repeating their results in the discussion section. The purpose of the discussion is to explain what the findings mean, compare them with previous studies and discuss their practical significance. You should also acknowledge the limitations of your study wherever necessary. A stronger discussion shows that you understand the importance of your research, not just the data you have collected. Your conclusion should always be based on the evidence presented in your study. Avoid making broad claims or drawing conclusions that are not supported by your results. Instead, summarize the key findings honestly, acknowledge the limitations, and suggest realistic directions for future research. A balanced conclusion leaves a much stronger impression than an exaggerated one. Before a manuscript reaches peer reviewers, editors make a quick, careful assessment. They ask a few important questions. Does the manuscript fit the journal scope? Is the research original? Is the research clear? Is the methodology appropriate? And have the author guidelines being followed? If the answer to several questions is no, the manuscript may receive a desk rejection without entering peer review. This is why careful preparation before submission is so important. Many authors assume that every submitted paper is reviewed by experts. In reality, a large number of manuscripts are rejected at the editorial stage itself. Common reasons include choosing the wrong journal, lack of novelty, poor language, failure to follow author guidelines, or not meeting the journal's quality standards. Always remember the first reviewer of your manuscript is the journal editor. Impress the editor first, and only then will your paper move to peer review. So far, we have discussed mistakes related to writing and research quality. However, even a well-written manuscript can be rejected because of ethical issues, improper publication practices, or poor journal selection. In the next session, we will focus on these important ethical and editorial issues that every researcher must understand before submitting a manuscript. One of the most serious reasons for rejection is plagiarism. Using someone else's words, ideas, figures, or data without proper acknowledgement is considered unethical and may lead to immediate rejection. Always write in your own words, cite your source correctly, and check the similarity report before submission. Always remember, a low similarity score alone does not prove originality. Original research comes from your own ideas, analysis, and contribution. Another serious ethical mistake is duplicate submission. Some authors submit the same manuscript to more than one journal at the same time, hoping for a faster acceptance. This is against publication ethics. Submit manuscript to only one journal at a time and wait for the editorial decision before submitting it elsewhere. Respecting the publication process reflects your professionalism as a researcher. Accurate referencing is an essential part of academic writing. Missing citations, incorrect references, or not following the journal's required citation style can create a poor impression and reduce the credibility of your work. Before submission, carefully check every reference, ensure all citations are complete, and follow the journal's prescribed format. Well organized references not only support your arguments but also demonstrate academic integrity. Another common reason for rejection is choosing the wrong journal. A manuscript may be scientifically sound, but if it doesn't match the journal scope or target audience, it is likely to be rejected. Before submitting your paper, always read journals, aims, and scope and make sure your research is good fit. Remember, selecting the right journal is just as important as writing a good manuscript. Many authors underestimate the importance of author guidelines. Every journal has its own requirements for formatting, word limit, reference style, and submission documents. Ignoring these instructions can result in a desk rejection even before your research is evaluated. take a little extra time to follow the journal's guidelines carefully. It reflects your professionalism and saves both your time and editors. Good research deserves good writing. If your manuscript contains grammatical errors, unclear sentences, or poor organization, reviewers may struggle to understand your work. Write in simple, clear, and scientific language. Proofread your manuscript carefully, and if possible, ask a colleague to review it before submission. Clear writing allows your research to receive the attention it deserves. Receiving reviewer comments is a normal part of the publication process. Never take these comments personally. Instead, treat them as valuable suggestions to improve your manuscript. Respond to every comment politely, explain the changes you have made, and if you disagree with a suggestion, provide a clear scientific justification. Remember, reviewers are working with you to improve the quality of your research. Our final mistake is submitting the manuscript without a proper final review. Before you click the submit button, carefully check your formatting, referencing, table, figures, ethical declaration, and all supporting documents. A small error can delay the review process or even lead to rejection. One final review may take a little extra time, but it can make a big difference to your manuscript. Before submitting your manuscript, ask yourself a simple question. Is my research question clear? Is my methodology appropriate? Are my results and conclusions supported by evidences? Have I followed the journal's guidelines? Are my references, tables, figures correct? Have I checked the manuscript for plagiarism or text similarity? And finally, have I chosen the right journal? If your answer is yes to all these questions, you are much better prepared for submission. A well prepared manuscript always creates a positive first impression. As we come to the end of this episode, I'd like to leave you with one important message. A research paper rejection does not define your ability as a researcher. Every reviewer comment teaches you something new, and every rejection is an opportunity to learn, improve, and come back with a stronger paper. Continue learning, keep improving your writing, publish responsibly, and contribute meaningful research to your field. Success in research comes not only from discovery but also from integrity, patience, and perseverance. In our next episode, we'll discuss another important topic, publication ethics. Every researcher must know 20 ethical mistakes that can destroy your academic career. We'll understand what publication ethics really means, the most common ethical mistakes researchers make, and how ethical misconduct can lead to rejection, retraction, and damage to academic credibility. We'll also discuss international ethical guidelines and practical strategies for publishing with honesty, transparency, and integrity. If you are a PhD scholar, faculty member, postgraduate student, researcher, or academic author, I encourage you not to miss this episode. Thank you very much for watching episode 6 of the Anna Publishing Monthly Research and Ethics series. I hope you found this session useful and that these practical insights will help you prepare stronger manuscripts and improve your chances of successful publication. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the Anna Publishing YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to press the notification bell so that you never miss our upcoming episodes. Thank you once again for your time. Keep learning, keep writing, and keep publishing with confidence. I'll see you in the next episode.